Andy Hiraoka from Japan was all slated to take on Gary Anton Russell for Gary's WBA 140-pound junior welterweight title. Despite visa problems and last-minute adjustments, he came in and still put on a performance that many people didn't expect. Let's talk about this fight, how it turned out. When it was announced that Gary Anton Russell would be taking on Andy Hiraoka as a #1 contender for his WBA super lightweight title on the undercard of Barrios versus Garcia, I had to do a little homework on Hiraoka because I didn't know him. I wasn't familiar with him. And after I did do the homework, I found out that this young man is a fighter to keep your eye on. He's a biracial Japanese fighter fighting out of Yokohama, Japan. And he had visa problems where it looked like he wasn't going to be able to make the trip to the US to face Anton. But things worked out. He got here the week of the fight, and there was a fight. And boy, was there a fight. The battle started out with Gary Anton asserting himself. With his victory in this match, his record is now 19 wins, 1 loss, and 17 KOs. He had been known as a kind of a bruiser that would get in there and get in the grill of his opponents and really establish himself both physically and moving his hands. But there was something that happened along the way to taking on Hiraoka. Hiraoka did not fear Gary Anton's reputation. In fact, he kind of considered it a challenge to go in there with him. And though Gary Anton started the fight off very strong and got out to an early lead, Hiraoka proved to me to be a second half fighter. And what I mean by that was there were moments early in the fight where Gary Anton was dictating the pace, taking the fight to Hiraoka, who now is 24 wins, 1 defeat to Gary Anton with 19 KOs. And let me tell you something, the 19 KOs is not a joke, it's for real. What really transpired in this fight was after he adjusted to the pace, he began to fight back. And as he began to fight back, on the inside, what we saw was Hiraoka with body punching. The infighting in this fight was what began to take its toll, and Gary Anton's strength began to get sapped from the vicious body punches, uppercuts, and hooks to the breadbasket that Andy was landing on him, so much to the degree that Gary's punches began to be like pity-pat punches that you see in the amateurs. And then you could see that the tide was beginning to turn in this fight. That's when Hiraoka was really making his hay. He started just a little bit too late. Maybe he started going around the 6th round or so. Had he started around the 4th or 5th, he could have easily gotten this decision, which was really something that the Russell brothers were really contemplating. Had they done enough? And salute to Mr. Gary Russell, who gave great instructions to his younger brother for this fight. But I'm going to tell you something, people, about Hiraoka. He's a very good fighter at the 140-pound weight class division, and people had better not sleep on him. He is of the ilk of Sabril Matias. He's pretty darn good. And as for Gary Anton, things are now at a relief stage for him, because this was the one and only challenger presently that he really had to worry about. There have been talks about other fighters taking him on in the weight class, but he doesn't appear anxious to want to fight the likes of Shakur Stevenson or Javier Herrera or the likes of those fighters. So it's kind of tough to see where he might end up. And if he takes a page out of his brother's book, he's not going to fight very often, and he's going to hold on to that title for as long as he can. I think he's one of the most vulnerable champions that we have in the sport presently. So with that being said, we can look forward to inactivity. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts about Gary Anton, Andy Hiraoka, and what do you like to see next. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.